long-awaited suspense has finally been put to rest, as it is now clear that Cameroonians will be heading to the polls on Sunday, October 12, 2025, to elect the new president of the Republic, as convened yesterday by the head of state, Paul Biya, marking an end to the voters' registration process. And today we are looking at what next after the convening of the electoral polls. What is the current atmosphere? What are political actors doing as they have 10 days to file in their candidatures at the level of Elections Cameroon? This will constitute our package in today's edition of 360 Degrees. My name is Hyncenth Chia, and we are coming live from the nation's political capital, Yaoundé. Stay tuned. You're welcome back. Today we are talking the convening of the elections by the head of state, as he did yesterday, Friday, July 11, telling Cameroonians that we shall be going to the polls on October 12 to elect the new president of the Republic. And we have some gentlemen in the studio that will be discussing today's theme of 360 Degrees as we look forward to communion with you for the next 1 hour. I have with me Abel Bella Samari. Abel Bella Samari is a journalist and he doubles as the Director of Information for Royal FM, one of the most listened radios here in the nation's political capital. Abel, it's a pleasure to have you here.
The pleasure is shared. Thank you so very much, Hyncenth. It's always a pleasure when you invite me to come and talk about burning issues in this nation. I'm so happy and delighted. I want to say good afternoon to all those who are watching us from all over the Republic of Cameroon. It's a pleasure. We are going to say what we want to say in order to build this nation, because there is no two Cameroon. It's only one Cameroon that we have.
As a reporter, how opened were your ears this week where Cameroonians were expecting that the head of state was going to convene the elections?
Yes, not only as a reporter, like somebody who managed a newsroom, we haven't been able to sleep because, you know, the Cameroon politics is something that you cannot predict since it is an individual that holds the destiny of elections in this country. And when the individual didn't say anything or don't come up, you cannot predict. It is sometimes very difficult for you to assign reporters because you don't know. You might be programming Monday and you see issues come on Tuesday. But we were already focusing because when you go through the laws of this nation, today was supposed to be the last day for the convenience of the electorate. So we knew that if yesterday could not been done, then obviously today the president have to do it. But the question we're asking ourselves is that today in Cameroon is not a working day. Would they be able to do it? So you see, the focus was on that Friday, and that is why you see at that period, as from 12 noon, we were trying to go closer to some sources, especially those at the level of the presidency, to find out if there is any information. But what we had was just the normal words in Cameroon politics today, 50-50. And everybody was telling that no, everything is not yet sure. We might have it, we might not have it. But later on, we got the information that the poll have been convened. It is now time for us to continue the work. But it has been a very biting issue. But there is also one thing we discovered yesterday. When we went down the field, we discovered that it was at the last minute where a lot of Cameroonians were rushing to get registered. We saw even anger were being fled out. That also tells you the atmosphere. But thank God that the poll has been convened, and it is now time for us to go into real politics and to be able to talk and educate Cameroonians on the political level in this nation.
I also have Dr. ISIDORE. He's been here before, and he's here again today to talk on these very pertinent issues that matters in the life of the Republic. Doc, you're welcome.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here. Good afternoon and good afternoon, telespectators and dear listeners. I'm also glad that we're going to discuss pertinent issues with regard to the life of our nation.
Did the deadline for voters registration affect you, or you had long registered?
I long registered.
Okay, thank you so much. Gentlemen, we shall be expecting more panelists to join us very soon. But then, Abel, you were talking about the the convening of the election. Now, when you heard that the head of state has finally convened the elections, what was your reaction like?
Yeah, three things. Three things, Hyncenth, really put me into questioning the sincerity of our politics in Cameroon.
Okay.
If our politics is not biased. First of all, the first thing I noticed is that the head of state, as was said, is somebody who respects the laws of the land. And that is why he cannot go above the laws of this nation. Then I asked myself, like an elderly person in this country, an elderly person that we all respect, because our African tradition says that you must respect the elderly person. The next question I was asking myself, that there is a lot of aspect in the law that is pending. Why would the head of state not equally respect that aspect of the law? This week we have gotten a lot of information about managers of state corporations who have overdued their states, who are even going above what the Constitution says, but nobody has been able to talk in that line. We have seen a lot of Cameroonians who are still lingering in the prison because their cases have not been caught up because of one issue of the law or the other. Nobody is talking about that, but we saw an analysis that we can put of somebody who respect and master the laws of this country. And the question we ask ourselves, why would the head of state put a blind eye to some of those aspects and bring it? Perhaps it is the fact that if he goes above it, he becomes illegal and he will not have the power given to him by the Constitution. It is better he focus on what the Constitution gives him to continue to have his absolute power to be able to manage the nation. Second aspect that caught my attention, Hyncenth, I said to myself, wow, this is the time we are going to know who is the real politician. Okay. You know, before the convening of the poll, somebody can just sit in his parlor, have a good bottle of wine, then tells him that I'm going to be the next president of this country, and he declares his candidature. So looking at the degree of yesterday, I say, wow, this is the time we are going to know who is running for the election, because they have 10 days. We already, out of that 10 days, we have already lost some days. Okay. Because as we are, today, Saturday is already out of it. So they have from Monday to make sure that latest the 22nd, they already deposit their candidature. The 21st, rather. Will they be able to allow the DOs and all the people to work their work? That is it. The third aspect that caught my attention rapidly, Hyncenth, was that why is it that we Cameroonians would like delay, the late coming syndrome? Why is it eating so fat? The last minute rush. The last minute rush in whatever thing we are doing. We cannot have from the 31st of August last year telling Cameroonians every day in the media singing songs that go out there and register. And you see in the last minute, that is when people are even bottlenecking, fighting with elected officials. It's not a good sign in our political landscape. Okay. We need to have that consciousness with us. We need to know that it is our civil right, our duty for us to be able to. Those are some of the things that I noticed as from yesterday. Okay, Ebel Belasamari, you permit us welcome Mr. Paul Anchang. He is of the ruling party, the CPDM. He's here today, at least for the first time on my set. After many attempts. Mr. Paul Anchang, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Hyncenth. Thank you. Good afternoon or good day as well to all your televiewers on the international and the national. Welcome also to Doctor and my other co-panelists as well, who I'm meeting for the first time, even though he has some incongruences as to what he's saying. I think the universal suffrage is free to civil and civic right. So I think people take their time. You don't want to, in introspection, you don't want to pressure someone into their civic or civil right as to their choice, because it would seem like it's an impediment into their civic and civil right as to their choice for universal suffrage. It's a conviction, it's an ideology, and it's left onto political parties to convince them and make sure that they can able to vote based on an ideology which they would subscribe to. If not, we will fall into the contradictory of that, which is voter apathy. And so I can agree with him on the sense maybe of the voter apathy that might be present if people are not convinced of their political convictions, or political parties that can convince them to subscribe to a notion for activism or militantism in political parties. But nonetheless, thank you for bringing me here. I think the CPDM party has always been here before. So if it is just me in terms of in Tutu Perso, I think that the population should also understand. I know the CPDM political party has been present on your show and is thankful for Canal for being on this. But me in Tutu Perso, this will be my first time.
Thank you so much. Doctor, we are talking about the atmosphere that was reigning yesterday or maybe throughout this week before the convening of the elections yesterday, 5 p.m. to be precise. What is your reading of all that has been happening this week?
The reading was quite pertinent because there were a lot of uncertainty in the sense that some people at that time had not been registered because they were not convinced for one reason or the other. There were uncertainty with some members of the CPDM breaking away, and the question was certainly, why now? You cannot be with somebody for 30 years and more. It is now that you want to release the secret, and rather see you as a traitor. Okay. And the reason why some people in the quarter have said that politics is a dirty game, and I want to let them know that politics is a concept, and as a concept, it do not act. And by basic definition of politics, that's supreme science that is geared towards good governance, whereby the wish and aspiration of people can be attained. It therefore means that for common good. So therefore, I mean that politics is not a dirty game, but some politicians play politics in a dirty manner. Okay. Yes. So they should go out and vote because the head of state have actually declared it so. And so therefore, in our love for politicians, for these 10 days to register, not social media, they should go and do the right thing. Okay. Because I was very much angry when I saw people coming out and run for election this year, this day on Facebook. Meanwhile, they know that they don't have what it takes. We should not take the top job of this country as a joke. Okay. I think we should not be joking the lives of people. So as of yesterday, when the head of state came out, we saw the effervescence. We saw how people were like, oh, this man whom we are saying in the background is too old, he cannot do this. He respected the deadline and surprised many Cameroonians. Yeah. I think he's on the track. You
were talking about the allies of the ruling party and the allies of President Paul Biya breaking away now after a very long time. Is there something wrong if an old marriage should witness a divorce?
There is something,
if things are not going.
There is something certainly very wrong. Very wrong in the sense that in politics, we know we don't have permanent friends, we have permanent interests. Yeah. You cannot be in the opposition. As a political party, you are creating a political party because you want to change or right the wrongs of the person that is on seat or the present regime. When you create a political party, it means that you have an ideology, you have a vision for the people. Sure. But now, you create a party and then they go into an ally. It means that you were just a kind of political distraction. Why is it that you support the person's vision and you have a political party? Just join him and you should be one. You stay with a person for more than 30 years, and today, because we have that virus in our mentality that he is old, because they are fighting north and south, now you are breaking out to give credibility to yourself. I said no. I rather see the ally as a political traitor. That is why I see it. There is something wrong in somebody too long overdue in a relationship. You are going through the pain and you are not denouncing it. It is only now that you want to denounce. I don't see it.
Did you get the reasons advanced by Minister Issa Chiroma Bakari, for example?
You got some reason that the head of state is no longer running this country. You cannot rule a country through procreation, by delegation of power, and so on. Those are some of the reasons that he have not met the head of state for some time, and there is no accountability. Ministers have died and they have not been replaced, and so on. Is that enough reason, as somebody who has been with the head of state to decline for power for so long? Is that the reason why they have not replaced minister? Is that is a concern? He should, at least, it's not convincing to me.
Okay.
To me, it's a political distraction.
Okay, Doc, it is often said, better late than never. I think, Mr. Chang, were you surprised yesterday that maybe the head of state had to convene the elections while Cameroonians are still waiting for the CPDM Congress, where a candidate has to be maybe elected to run for the top job of this country?
I think that's a very good question, because a lot of times people confuse the question, and that confuses the geopolitical reality of where we are in. The CPDM political party is not the same like another political party. Sure. It's the majority party, but also we've had the same candidate for 7 candidacies. So it's only natural. Article 27, alinea 3 of the political party says the president of the party is the natural candidate. So the candidacy is not the problem. So I think people confuse the acceptance of the candidacy by the president of the republic as to be the issue, whereas it's when the election is actually convoked, then the candidate can accept the candidacy. So for us, there really is no issue. Now, I would understand other political opposition formations who might have different statutes in their own political formation where they had to go through a Congress, because they are trying for the first time with the return of multi-party politics in 1990 to be able to see if they can adhere to the top job of the nation. So within the CPDM political formation, there is no controversy.
Are you saying that many are misunderstanding the 5 years time frame, which your same party said you have to hold a Congress to re-elect or elect the president of the party?
Yeah, you have to re-elect or re-elect, but once if it's not re-elected, the statute still stays the same. So if I have to re-elect, but the statute still remains the same, it's status quo. So, I mean, it's jurisprudence. If the status has not changed, if the status quo has not changed, which means the president of the party remains the candidate. So, asking whether or not the CPDM political party, within its own statutes, we need its own members, and if the militants want to call for Congress, and the militants have not had over majority call for Congress because we know that we have a president of the party and he's a natural candidate, then unless you want to become a militant of the CPDM political party.
So we've seen militants of the CPDM party raise the same problems we are raising. Like
of course, it's normal, but if you are not the majority in the party, you would always raise the question, which means that the vitality of the party remains very democratic. If you have a political formation, within your own political formation, there are no contradictory opinions, then the vitality of your political party is non-existent. But within the political party of CPDM, the vitality is existent, it is democratic, and the majority overwhelmingly has said the natural president, the natural candidate is the president of the party. The statute of the party, 27 alinea 3, state that. So naturally, there is no problem. So we have our candidacy. We have a candidate, actually. So the CPDM political party, what people should be expecting is that within the coming weeks, based on the 22nd, the CPDM political party is going to actually deposit the candidature of its candidate. It is just that simple. And through the channels that be, the head of state, who is a natural candidate, will be able to, through the channel that he chooses, because he's an astute politician and he's been at the helm for a long time, will choose the best channel. Mind you, if you have Twitter, if you have social media, the head of state has been constantly, on a daily basis, sending messages. So I think maybe people are confusing a physical non-existence when he's actually on social media. He has responded to all the national prerogatives, nationally where Cameroonians have seen him and physically seen him. So that question really is for opposition political parties who doubt of the vitality of the CPDM political party, and is left for our militants as we are mobilizing them to show the force of the CPDM political party.
So is Anchan Paul saying that the 50-50, how do you put it, the 50-50 syndrome as maybe preached lately by Minister Rene Emmanuel Sadi. Are you saying that you are 100% sure that Bia is going to be candidate?
No, the 50-50 syndrome, it's only but natural that a member of government, he's the Minister of Communication, and that's the government that's speaking. It's a minister part of the government that's speaking, under the Prime Minister, head of government. Okay. Now, within the political party which I'm representing, the CPDM political party, which is different from the government, he's saying that, no, that's a natural candidate. It is 100% sure. Now, the government, of course, with any candidacy that is out there, whether it be CPDM, whether it be a different political party, of course, gives the diplomatic liability that it is 50-50 based on the fact that the government is waiting for the acceptance of that candidate by the candidate.
Okay. Ebel Bella Samari, this week, from July 1st, it's true we discussed very lengthily on it last Saturday, but then the different delegations from the different regions were equally received at the presidency this week to conclude the delegations of the 10 regions going for consultations with the Secretary General at the presidency, Ferdinand Gongo. And this week we did not limit at the level of CPDM delegations. We equally saw some oppositions in quote presidential majority, like they were citing going for consultations. We saw the party of the ANGP of Minister Amadou Mustafa, and we equally saw the delegations of the MGR. Such consultations, are they going to fill the vacuum created by Bello Buba Maigari and Issa Chiruma Bakari?
Yes, there is something I want to remind to Mr. Cham. When we talk about Cameroonians rushing for the last minute, we know it is their right. And that is why we media people will take time off to inform them and educate them that it is important to adhere to your conviction. But the cry we saw, especially yesterday, was the fact that we have a lot of Cameroonians, because of last-minute rush, who are not going to participate in this upcoming election.
Yeah, and you were not blaming somebody.
No, let me count.
You were rather blaming the individuals.
I'm talking like a reporter.
Yes.
Like those people have that patriotic spirit that we preach every day. It is important that we take our civil rights. We cannot be asking every time that what has the country done for us when we have not asked ourselves
what have the country done for us.
There is an adage, or there's a saying that every government Every bad government is being voted by those who refuse to vote. And those who refuse to vote will be the one to always come and cry out. And that is why we call on them, take up your civil responsibility. It is your choice to go in, first of all, register. And it is good to register. You convince yourself by choosing the right political party you wish to with. Yes, we have reported that we saw a lot of delegation of a particular political party having their consultation. And we saw 3 different categories of people. I don't know whether they have been mandated by their political party to do so, because we have been waiting for the communication officer of the ruling CPDM party, who is the Minister Jacques Famdongo. We saw him coming up to put some certain points, especially with the outing of the 50-50 of the Minister Emmanuel Sabri, saying that the party still stand on its ideology, like what Mr. Cham is saying. Ancham, sorry. Yes.
It's okay.
He's saying that they believe that their president is still up, he's supposed to do their job. And we also saw at the level of the National Assembly, the Speaker of the National Assembly also receiving another delegation. Delegation of the of the MDR, where we saw the son of late Daikuli Rasala assuring the Speaker of the National Assembly that they are going to support the presidency, the president of the Republic, President Paul Biya, because they have an alliance. He had other political parties of that alliance that came up at the level. We have also seen the Secretary General of the CPDM party carry out his own consultation.
Yes.
But now in political communication that you and I do, because that is what we know. When you see a political party coming up with that different faction, it poses a little question, because the common man now in the streets is asking, what is happening? Are they in one accord? Is there any panic? You see, the political communication that is coming out from there, especially the communication, what are they struggling to tell us? That is some of the questions where it still hangs a lot of answers, where people are asking a lot of questions. Why are there so many agitation? Perhaps, in the groundnut, if you have been looking at it very carefully, when it comes to the presidential election, you see that is where you can see a political party or some of when the UNDP, the FNS is not going in for election, they rally in their support. And that is where you see some little political parties can pick up the vote. But when it comes to the legislative and municipal election, that is where you see the real politics in the groundnut, because they break away from their alliance, they break away from their alliance and come back to their political stuff. That is where you see a lot of issues. So perhaps on the ideology of the Speaker of the National Assembly, with the departure of these 2 great figures, which I subscribe with Dr. Isidore Parcom, like dancing in the wind, because we don't know their mission, why they have to come up this time saying that they have already backed out of the alliance. And that brings us another problem in Cameroon politics. What type of alliances do we go in for? How are those alliances we go in for help the development of the common man? Because the modern day politics, nobody here would differ with me, that the modern day politics will talk about development of the people. Once the people don't see themselves with the reality, they come to say, no, we have not benefit. And that is why you can go out in Cameroon, ask the question, what has changed in Cameroon from 2018 to 2025? A lot of the common man, a lot of people will find it very difficult, Hyncenth, to tell you that something has changed. Some will tell you that we have gotten a lot of changes. Others will tell you that on a daily basis, they still live in the abject poverty. And that is something. But now if they come in with that politics for development, by the time you say what has changed, you see somebody will come up. So we question even the alliances. But that is why you see the breakaway, because even the lot of political landscape, for those who follow information, you see when Bello and Issa Chuma have a picture, the whole social media is booming. A lot of people are doing analysis. Are they going to come to a coalition? Where you see Joshua Ossi meeting with Bello Buba Maigavi, you see a lot of people is giving the journalists the work to be able to find out. But we want a situation where the Cameroonian people, before they go in to vote, before they go in to select their candidate, they should have ample knowledge of actually what is happening, the geopolitics behind the 2025 presidential election. That is the question we should be asking.
If you are joining us from wheresoever, you have the opportunity to contribute to our talking points through the number you have on your screen. Send us a very short message, straight to the point, through WhatsApp or SMS. Doc, talking about the delegations, we saw Minister Paul Atanganji leading the delegation of the Northwest CPDM officials to the presidency. And after that, he made a declaration that the Northwest is 100% behind the candidacy of President Paul Biya. You are from the Northwest. Under what basis was he making such kind of a statement?
When they say the Northwest is 100%...
Are you part of that 100%?
No, I'm talking... When he said the Northwest is 100% behind the head of state, yes. He's talking in the capacity of a cabinet minister. He's talking in the capacity of a CPDM militant. He's talking in the capacity of an elite in the Northwest. And so, therefore, he has all the liberty to discuss whatsoever he wants. Because for me, I cannot say I'm 100% behind the head of state. I have not benefited anything since he took over power. He took power before I was born. Okay. And now, he ruled my father, he's ruling me, and he's ruling my children, he'll rule my grandchildren tomorrow. So I said, no. When you leave from Bamenda to Womb, when I was a student, we used to pay 500 francs from Womb to Bamenda. Believe me, it left from 500 to 1,000, and we say, what is happening? Today, a vehicle do not go to Womb. Okay. We pay bikes from Bamenda to Womb for 20,000 francs during the dry season, and now during the rainy season, it's 30,000 francs per person. And when you reach the park, you need to look for other people to join you so that I can take a bike for 40,000, two of you, to go to Womb. Vehicles do not go to Womb. Corpses are being transported on what? Bikes. So, tell me, give me one reason why I should support the head of state. For about 9 years today, there's no electricity in Womb, in Menchum, as a whole. Okay. Give me one reason why I will support the head of state. In Menchum, children are not going to school, just very sporadic schools. I cannot go to the village to see my mother. Some children are going to school, not all. So I don't have any reason to support the regime. I don't have. I am a doctor today because I went to school. What about my children in the village there? People are being kidnapped, people are being killed, houses are being burned. They killed my uncle under this very regime. And now, give me one reason why I should support this very regime. There are about 1,000 PhD holders out there, unemployed, massive unemployment, hunger, and you tell the rest of the misery. I don't have any reason to support this regime. Okay. To me, it is long overdue. Let the fact that things can go.
Mr. Anchang, one of the reasons highlighted by the head of delegation to the presidency, Mr. Paul Atanganji, was that the birth certificate of the CPDM is in the Northwest. Right. And as such, the Northwest is suddenly, is that enough for the birth certificate of the CPDM to be in the Northwest? And then we think that that is enough for the entire region. We saw the deplorable nature of routes when the Prime Minister visited. We listened to Minister Nalova Lyonga lamented on the situation of the route. And then somebody tells us that for the singular fact that the birth certificate of the CPDM is in the Northwest, the Northwest is 100% behind the head of state?
Well, I think we can take it, we can introspect, look at it in different, that's your interpretation of it. But he's saying it's anthropologically true. The CPDM was birthed in Bamenda.
Of course, we know.
So that's the birth certificate.
Yes.
So it's equal to that. So now, anthropologically, that's a fact. So people back at home should not, no one will contradict that fact. Now, when we talk in terms of the representation at the legislature and at the municipals as well, the CPDM political party is well represented in the Northwest. So I think we are about 98, 95%. So, of course, normally, the sitting minister, who is the head of department of the CPDM political party in the Mezam, will say the Northwest is 100% behind the head of state. But now the real question which you're asking for is, can we defend that 100%? Because I think that in an introspect, that's the question. Yeah. And Doctor was saying, well, we've given you CPDM the mandate, you have about 90%, but we are crying, we are deploying certain situations which we see in the Northwest. I think whether you're in CPDM or whether you're in civil society, you would acknowledge that there are problems. Now, my response to that would be is not that the problems are static, but that we within the CPDM party, which is both young and old, for those who are in the Northwest, we are working towards bringing Apple solutions and adjustments to this problem. It's not just sitting down and saying, yes, we thank you for the vote, but we have to defend that vote. And if it means that, of course, we have to address the issues of the road, especially in Bamenda town, it means we have to be able to address those problems and bring solutions. So I don't only want to limit myself to the roads who are not in Bamenda. He said something which was very key. He said in the villages, there's insecurity. He said in the villages, market to farm roads are lacking. So I don't necessarily only want to limit it to the specific imagery of the roads because the ministry...
That was just an example.
And I thank you for that. And it's true. It's a fact. So, but I am part of the CPDM political party that acknowledges where we have weaknesses. We are not saying that we are perfect. And if we come up here and begin to say we are perfect, no, then that's a lie, because the reality is different. But we are saying with these problems, with these difficulties, we are looking to bring solutions towards these difficulties. Now, what we are saying to our electorate and those who are not part of our electorate is that challenge us on the field to address these problems. And if you find that those who are represented have not done the adequate job, then we will make sure that those who represent you henceforth will do the accurate job, not just with the mouth, by word of mouth, but with results as well. Now, we can all contradict in the sense we say that the ring road has been lapsing, but we'll also address the fact of the asymmetric warfare and insecurity. The insecurity will not be blamed only on the CPDM political
Before 2016, it was long overdue, Mr. Nchang.
No, even
I remember the head of state in 2011 said, I will personally supervise the ring road.
Yeah, but you can supervise the ring road, but if there's asymmetric warfare, you will not be able to deliver the ring road. Let's be also realistic about that.
The ring road did not only come during the Anglophone crisis.
No, we are not.
You know that. It has been more than 40 years that the head of state has promised the people of the Northwest region that particular aspect of the ring road.
No one
should be focused on the fact that a crisis started, and because of that crisis, they cannot have the ring road. And
I would answer you in wanting to single out the ring road as the particular problem for the downfall of the Northwest. I think that's an issue. Okay. I think it's a collective issue. We cannot only sing it, because there's also the Menchum Falls. Yeah. Because if you want to anthropological go back to what the Northwest has been promised and what we have received, that's an anthropological debate and a historical debate. Even within the CPDM, I'm willing to say that, no, we haven't gotten what we should. Okay. We should get more. I actually think that we should get the hydroelectric dam.
I like that.
So it is not an issue of a partisan issue. This is a social, economic issue where we believe that even those of us within the CPDM party, we deserve that, and we have to defend the electorate which we have been given by the population of the Northwest.
Okay, you wanted to chip in something before I get to Ebel?
In the sense that Mr. Tanji is saying that Northwest, the best difficult of CPDM is in Northwest. Yes, true. In 1985 in the Congress.
Of course, we all know.
Now, that same era, there was made full of funds. And now his own colleague, the funds of funds, are staying in the bushes, some have escaped. He has never gone up there to redress the current situation. When elections are coming, they keep giving up promises that roads will come, this will come. They leave the seaport just to really resurface. That is a seaport that can be able to do wonders in the Republic of Cameroon. But they abandoned it. They were digging hills in Membele and whatever they call in Caribbean whatsoever. They were digging hills. Meanwhile, the Limbe seaport is just very open. Now, the Menchum Fund is there. We are crying electricity. But they'll go and be digging whether they call Lagdo or whatsoever in the east. I think that we should be serious enough. We should know that all these promises are not helping us. Yes. Let them, when you promise, you effect it.
Okay.
Yes.
Abel, he was saying that the opposition, they need to prove their worth on the field, maybe with what they are promising as alternatives. Now, the elections were convened yesterday. What is your reading of the activities of the opposition as of now?
Yes, every political party is struggling to carry out its political propaganda to be able to tell the electorates to give them another mandate to see reason with them. And sometimes when I go back or listen to some of our elites talk, especially the case of Naloa that you talked about, it made me to go back to my note on political communication, because I discovered that most of the elites within the CPDM political parties have discovered that Cameroonians are crying on the road issue. So to put up their good campaign is to tell us that they too feel the same situation, they live in the country, they denounce it. But we strongly believe that they could have done better for the Cameroonian people. And the fact that you talked about, let me come to the Minister Atanganji, maybe have an opportunity. Yeah, he's very right. He's very correct for those who follow politics in the Northwest region. There is no political party that can carry out its political activities within the Northwest region amid the crisis at this particular point in time. So when he says that the Northwest region is 100% behind the President of the Republic. I remember in 2018 litigation at the Constitutional Court, we saw a lot of opposition lawyers decrying the fact that election did not take place in the Northwest and Southwest region, because on that election day, there was a total lockdown. And for the fear of the uncertainty, a lot of people from the Northwest region had to stay at home. It was being alleged that those who voted on that day were military officers who were asked to do the security maintained.
Which is yet to be proven.
So that's why I say it is alleged. And that is why the CPDM got the result in which they had. Somebody who was so front-lined in that aspect was Barrister Agbo Bala, who had the opportunity to move to some of the parts of the Anglophone, the English-speaking region. And we are still at the heart of the crisis, and elections will be taking place on the 12th of October. And all of us know the significance of the October month to the Englishman. And between the 1st and the 12th, you know what can happen. And if there happens to put another lockdown, even those who have registered or those who have not registered, it becomes very difficult for them to be able to go out and vote. And obviously, if the same scenario of 2018 will resurface again, you will still discover that they will still come and say it was alleged that some certain people vote. But talking about the activities, we are going to see, especially in the English part of the country, some political parties be able to carry out their activities without any fear. But some political parties will find it very difficult to go down to the northwest region to carry out a series of campaign.
Have you heard
because of the fear of the
political parties reaching
there is no possibility. There is not possibility for that, even though at the level of subdivision as a whole, we have relatively calm there. We just had a cultural festival, they call it the Nkala. We even had a race, so a lot of people come out. But we are feared that in October, they might come up with something that will prevent the people from. And I love the way my brother is putting it. He's a politician. We should not be down on that. He wants the people to see the sympathy. And that is why he said that, yeah, we recognize, but give us another mandate. But the question we should be asking ourselves, on what basis should the people give you another mandate if the little they gave you, they have not seen the reality? The reality, you and I grew up in the English part of the country where the farm to market route was not as the way it is today. People could still carry their cocoas, people could still carry their plantain to the different market. But today, the whole country is crying on the issue of roads. Why is it that the regime in place is not giving that opportunity? Who is stopping the regime in place to carry out the best policy so that the people should be able to have this benefit? It brings us to the type of question we should question every politician, every Cameroonian. What type of democracy do we really have in this country? Is it the democracy that suits our realities as Cameroonians, or is it democracy that is being imported somewhere else? Because if we don't go on those bases to actually know where we are coming from, we are going to find it very difficult for us to be able to know where we are going to. He's saying he will win. We'll give him another mandate. In 2032, the two of us will still sit in the same platform here. He say, hey, Ben, we know that there is this difficulty. You know the Anglophone crisis was not there. Give me another mandate. I will give in 2037. We'll still sit. But is that the reality? Is that what the people really need from our politicians? Those are some of the things we should be talking about.
Ebe, we have a series of reactions. Let's just take one. Good afternoon in the house. I think the problem in this country is not the president, no, it's ministers, but the people. Cameroon is down and the youths are crying, but our parents, brothers and sisters who are facing severe hardship are the very persons running after the orchestrators of their suffering. That is coming from Ebot in Boya. Gentlemen, you permit us, let us see what elections Cameroon, we know that is the major stakeholders in the electoral process. This week, they had to put up the web portal where Cameroonians will be able to verify their registration information. So let's get this report done for us by Bonaventure Ate.
The updated web portal of Elections Cameroon comes to clear doubts and worries raised by users after a temporary suspension for cleanup.
The site is responsive through mobile phones and computers. Any elector can check his or her registration on electoral registers and submit complaints if necessary.
The LECAM official points out that the enrollment verification can only be done in the register of voters that was cleaned up and published in December 2020.
All the voter registration underway since the launching of the revision exercise of 2nd January 2024 will be available upon completion of cleanup operations that should start immediately after the electors are convened for election of the President of the Republic.
The portal is more secure with security checks and contains statistics of registered voters as well as current electoral news.
To gain access to the information requested, you must first click on a security interface captcha and then confirm your registration. An online update of information about these electors will be done after the processing of the voters register, which involves expunging any irregularities, notably multiple registration, requests for change of residence, and correcting individual information.
The updated electoral statistics indicates that there are 7,845,222 voters in the electoral register.
You're welcome back. Mr. Chang, how laudable is that initiative from Elections Cameroon?
Well, I think it's very laudable, but I would just like to come back to my brother here to let him know that as he recognizes that we have a young vitality of CPDM, new, young and old politicians within the Northwest, we don't only accept our defaults, but we look to be able to correct them. Which means that I want people to understand that, no, we are not taking a vote from them just because they are giving us a vote. No, we are taking a vote from them because we are representing them in the new collective effort. So it's a participative effort. That's the new challenge in wanting to defend the vote that we are trying to do.
There are some people today who preach the idea of progressive CPDM. Are you talking in that light?
Of course. With all political parties, you have a progressive wing, you have a conservative wing. And the CPDM political party is no different. Just like in other political formations. It is true that within you, in a political party, you might have a wing that is much more a majority, but definitely there's a progressive wing within the CPDM political party. Okay. And of course, it's only natural that a progressive wing within the CPDM political party will emanate from the Northwest due to the realities and the difficulties and the challenges which we see on the field. So we want to also let people know that, no, we have gotten the mandate, but we must defend the mandate. But it's even much more difficult to defend the mandate because we have to give them a reality and solutions to the challenges which they face. And that's part of decentralization. So with this mandate and with decentralization, it means that if they see that the candidates which we have proposed are not necessarily candidates which align with their convictions and the realities, it therefore means that they should also be able to come up to us to let us know that we will propose more ideas in this manner. So it's a working and progressive grassroots effort, and we are willing to commit ourselves to that challenge as well. We also invite other opposition militants. If they see that in another opposition party, they cannot realize what they intended to do, come to the CPDM and we will realize it as well with us. It's a challenge, it's politics, it's a game of interest. I think Elekam is doing a very wonderful job, and it will go in light with what you're saying, because Elekam is saying something which they have the duty to be able to investigate into the claims and determine if these claims are real or not, especially if you want to change your bureau de vote or your voting booth, in the sense that you could be traveling, you could have something to do, maybe you're traveling to, I don't know, to Ivory Coast or to Nigeria, but on that particular date you couldn't vote, or you had to vote in a different area. So I think that when they put it on the phone, on the different portals, it enables people to be actively be able to do that rather than go and stand in front of an electoral office, especially in places of insecurity where you can have access to internet and actually do it that way. And it also protects your civil and civil right, because one of the things that I for one in particular, because I'm open, I think I'm a good politician, but I think I can convince you to my political vitality. I don't need to confront you in a physical confrontation to convince you of my political vitality. I have to convince you based on my ideology and what I'm proposing. And if I can do that, you can also give me the contradictory to tell me that, Mr. Anchang, what you're proposing is not possible. And you encourage me now to be able to say that I will be able to do this, in particular in Boyo, where we also come from. So I think that in this particular realm, it's a huge move, because it allows Cameroonians to keep their universal suffrage intent and be able to now to choose where they want to go to vote. The only impact we will see now is that people might begin to change where they want to vote based on the security way they see. So you could be necessarily from the Northwest, but you rather want to vote where you reside in. It could be in, I would say, Yaoundé 6 or somewhere else. And so we would see a shift in mentality. So I anticipate that many political parties will begin to anticipate that, especially during the legislative elections. So we won't really see the impact in the presidential, but in the legislative elections, you will see an impact where if you are looking to be a mayor, a municipal council, then it will become a challenge.
Okay, we have more than 100 messages. Let's just take this one. Good morning, Canada. I am Kaimbi promised a potential candidate for the next presidential election, but the problem right now is that I am facing death threats from enemies of Cameroon. We want to tell whosoever is threatening our potential candidates that it is not necessary. Every Cameroonian has the right, if you are of the age accepted by the Constitution, to battle for the race for the presidency. Yes, we are talking about the newly relaunched portal of Elekam. Have you tried it?
Not yet. I will, but not today.
Okay.
I think Elekam is doing quite a commendable job to go judicial, which is good. I read a book titled The Indispensable Opposition that was published by Watali Paman in 1939, where he cited the case of Stalin, that no matter who vote and how you vote, the only thing that matters is who count the vote. So Elekam, I'll be grateful if they are credible enough. Yes. So what they are doing is good, but let them be credible, because at one moment you hear of electoral fraud here and there. So they should be credible enough to give Cameroon the confidence and confidence that we deserve.
All right. Abel, I will come back to you since we are talking about Elekam. Elections have been convened. Let us see what are the next steps to be taken by Elections Cameroon from yesterday till maybe when the list of candidates will be published. It is a key and strategic moment for Elections Cameroon, as the electoral body has as first mission after the convening of the elections to open doors for the deposition of candidatures by the different aspirants of the October presidential race. According to Section 123, Sub 1 and Sub 2 of the Electoral Code, candidates vying for the top job of the country will have to deposit their files at the General Directorate of Elekam or the regional branches of Elections Cameroon within 10 days from this day of the convening of the elections. After receiving the files, the electoral body, according to Section 125, may accept or reject a candidacy for various reasons. Section 122 reiterates that Elekam will scrutinize elements such as the required 300 signatures for independent candidates, the presentation of the nomination papers submitted by the party sponsoring the candidate where applicable, a copy of a certificate showing payment of the 30 million CFA francs deposited into the state's treasury, among other requirements. According to Section 125 of the Code, the Director General of Elections shall notify the persons concerned of the reasoned decision to reject their candidacy with a copy of the decision forwarded to the Constitutional Council, giving room for the aspirants to file an appeal. And Section 126 stipulates that the Electoral Board shall draw up and publish the list of candidates within no less than 60 days to the date of the polls. Now welcome back. Abel, the real business has started. You were saying there that we have seen over 30 Cameroonians coming on Facebook, whatsoever, traditional media and the social media, to say they want to be candidates. The time has come for real action. Are we still going to see the same effervescence from these very excited Cameroonians?
Yeah, this is the time for action. And they have to, within 10 days, be able to raise 30 million francs CFA as caution. And I will try to bring out something. In 2018, we saw a presidential hopeful, a candidate who deposited the document without the 30 million.
The 30 million portion.
And when the file was rejected, he was the first to rush to the Constitutional Council to ask reason why his file was rejected. And we are also seeing at this moment different political parties are struggling to squeeze out money from their militants, from their well-wishers, from their Politburo members by asking them that you need to give your own contribution. And sometimes those political parties, they are coming back to the common people that you give your own contribution so that we meet up. This is a time we will see political parties, some will go down to the people to say that they should do contribution, do fundraising. Maybe perhaps some other political parties will not have that difficulties because we saw some youth in some part of the country organizing themselves earlier on, giving out huge sum of money that they want to support a particular candidate. But what we are saying is that it is a busy period because right up to the week of the 27th of October, where we should be expecting the presidential result, it will be a very busy period in Cameroon. But the question is what should be the next aspect when this aspect is candidates are being deposited, because in the past we have seen some who are going there because they know that it's a business. They can take a loan from the bank of the 30 million and deposit it. Maybe after the campaign or during the campaign, the government will give them hundreds of millions. They pay back their political debt and then continue with their political life. We have seen politicians, and that just helped weaken our politics. Politics in Cameroon should not be on that type of affair, because when we go by definition of politics, Dr. Isidore is there, he's a political scientist, he knows more better. It is every society needs a leader, because all of us cannot talk randomly. We need somebody that will represent us. That is where politics comes from. And in the course of representing us is for us to choose, and that is why we are going in for the presidential election. But when some take it as a forum for them to make money or for them to make joke, we'll say that the 2025 presidential election should not witness such situation. We should have serious Cameroonians who have the Cameroonians at heart for them to be able to realize the developmental trend that we need. Because when you go through your SMSC, somebody said we are dying, and it is the reality. I said if you go out there, by the time maybe you finish this program, you see family members will be calling you that you should send them something. Not because they wish to, but they see you like somebody who is of the upper class and they are down there, they need to. You see that we have this type of situation on a daily basis. And because of the situation that Cameroonians are going through, if our candidates who are going in for this election, if our different politicians who are going in for this election, they should be able to give the heart desire of the Cameroonian people. Okay. They should do politics that suits our realities. If the politics does not have the common man at heart, then it should be a different type of politics that we wish in this country.
Yes, and Chang, time for action. Are we going to see some people slow down because maybe of the challenge of getting the 30 million CFA francs? We saw young people in the Northwest and Southwest and some part of the country raise money to support the head of state's candidacy.
Sure. Well, I think maybe the media puts it that way. I think they raise money to support the candidacy. I think it will go into different aspects of the party. The party has a treasury. I think the structuration of many political parties poses a problem in terms of human resources. I think it's a reality. I think he's alluding to some of the problems that most political parties face, and to the structuration, and that leads to the vitality of a political party, and that's where sometimes you could see abuse. So I think that geopolitical reality is what people back at home should be able to understand. I, for one, I feel that if you have to contribute to a political party, you should want to know the candidates, you should want to know those within the political party associated with, and that you can be able to meet them and discuss with them or hear from them, because if not, you will be contributing to an effort which will go into their private coffers. In that sense. So for me, the structuration of political parties is very important, because at this point, the Electoral College has been convoked. So if you don't already have the 30 million, or if you did not really have the 30 million, or you don't have the staff, or if you don't have the militants, if you don't have the structure of the party already ready to compete for the presidential election, you shouldn't even be putting in your candidacy at this point. So if you're still looking for the 300 votes, or looking for the 30 million to put it, then realistically, if you have to look at throughout the national territory, the 360 subdivisions, you have a difficulty, because there's also an issue of communication. So you have to make sure that staff. There's also focus on issue of the vitality of the communication. See if at this point...
Militants representing at the different polling stations, we have always seen
then we are talking about the 11th of August, where maybe, say, at the level of the Constitutional Council, you'll be able to defend whether or not your candidacy was accepted or not accepted, and if you have to recourse to judicial lawyers or not. So I think at this particular point in time, then we would also be able to see which are the real political parties in Cameroon, such as the CPDM political party.
Yes, at this point in time where we are struggling to maybe the political leaders have 10 days to deposit candidature, are there particular candidates you are looking forward to make sure to see that their files get to a leg-up?
Actually, I have not seen any political party that's convinced me.
Are you saying that we should postpone the elections?
I'm not saying they should postpone it because most political parties, when you see the way they talk, you see the way they behave at times, they say they are going to alliance with the majority party or the CPDM. So you push me to think that if I'm supporting this person, what happens tomorrow? You go into an alliance. If that alliance, what I join you? Certainly not. So I think as of now, I'm still observing because some political parties exist only in Yaoundé or on social media. When you go to Norway, you see that there are only two political parties that I know, SDF and CPDM. For example, in my village in Wum, in Mench, where I come from, we don't have PCNC or the COI, whatever, it doesn't exist. And somebody will get up tomorrow and say, j'ai tiré le penalty, j'ai marqué le but. So you don't need to play the ball, you don't need to score the penalty because the ball is there for you to score. So that's why I'm saying that I don't support any political party as of now because some of them are professional liars.
Maybe moving away from parties.
Okay.
When you look at the country, you look at the realities of the countries, and then you look at the individuals that are coming up that they want to lead the country. Let us look beyond political affiliation.
Well, to be honest, if you want to look at the country, you see that the country is becoming a common dustbin to everybody, which is nasty, almost everywhere in town. The country becoming too bloody with war, insecurity in northwest, southwest, and the northern regions of Cameroon. You will see that no individual will be happy to say that we should be experiencing negative peace and graveyard silence. Because people are going through a lot. For me to come to cast my vote as an individual, if Paul Biya was still 60, 70 years, I'll go in for him because he's a man of rigor. But these other politicians, I don't trust them.
Okay. Abel, you have to be very snappy. Yes. Our time is up.
There is something I regret in Cameroon politics. And I believe that maybe most politicians have not really sit and realized. When we came out with the advent of multi-party politics in 1990, like Doctor would say, some of us were not there, some of us were like kids. But there is a statement the president made during that period. I would like to be remembered as somebody who brought democracy to Cameroon. No political party or the politicians in Cameroon have ever sat to say, come and explain to us which type of politics were you thinking about in Cameroon. We just hang up. We do the stuff. But there is a reality, what he's saying, that we keep neglecting. Cameroon politics is too tribalistic. We practice tribalistic politics that you will see somebody will say, I'm supporting this person because it's for my village. They don't want to see the manifesto, they don't want to see the reality. They just hang up. And that is why we have hate speech. Don't be surprised during this period we will have insults. Don't be surprised during this period we'll see people fighting in platforms like this. Don't be surprised because we have not emancipate our idea to say, let us focus on politics. Even we need the so-called political parties, some are members of that party because they want for job security.
Thank you, Abel.
I'm working in this office for me to show, let me protect my job for job security. We still have a lot of work to educate the Cameroon people. Perhaps after this election, the media should be able to educate the mindset of our politicians. We should define our own politics that will suit our realities before we can talk about development.
Thank you, Abel. Mr. Chang, in 15 seconds, your last word, please.
Well, my last word, President Paul Biya is a natural candidate of the CPDM political party. He's a natural candidate. We are waiting for the proper channel where he will accept his candidacy, so people should not be worried about whether he's not. He will choose the channel to accept his candidacy. We are looking forward to the candidacy being dropped at the LACAM. We are ready for the elections. We are also cognizant of the fact that there are difficulties on the field. And so we are telling all our militants and also non-partisan militants that we acknowledge, we are in proximity, We are open to discussion. It is not a war. Politics is win, scratch my back and scratch your back.
Thank you so much. It is here that we come to the end of today's edition of the program. If you missed out on anything, rebroadcast is on Wednesday at 10:30 p.m. Until we meet again next Saturday, stay blessed.